Let us get to know Gadyatrayam. Gadya means poetic prose. There are three Gadyams so written by Srimad Ramanuja. It was written sometime 900 years back and staged and dedicated to the common man in the presence of the divine couple of Srirangam on a Pangani Uttaram day. There are three Gadyams or three poetic proses. Number one is Sharanagati Gadyam, number two Sriranga Gadyam, number three Sri Vaikunta Gadyam. Of all the three, Sharanagati Gadyam is long. It has got 23 churnas to be specific. Churna means paragraphs. So Ramanuja first addresses Ranganayakithaya. So the first expression is Bhagavan Narayana Abhimatanurupa Swarupa Rupa Gunavibhava Aishwarya Siladi Anavadikadi Saya Asankheya Kalyana Gunaganam. Like that she addresses and glorifies her with her great qualities and says, I am surrendering at your feet. And he further says, Paramartika Bhagavad Charanara Vindayugala Aikantika Tyantika Parabhakti Parajnana Paramabhakti Krita. And he says all these things to say Bhagavad Charanara Vinda Sharanagatihi Yatavastita Avirata Astume. Please guide me how to reach the lotus feet of Lord Ranganatha. And Sri Ranganayakithaya says Astute, let it happen that way and let it happen the same way you wanted that to happen. Now Ramanuja addresses Lord Ranganatha. So he starts telling him Akilaheya Pratyanika Kalyana Ikatana Svetara Samastavastu Vilakshanananta Jnananandaikaru Swarupa. So he says, he addresses the Atmic, the Atmic or spiritual looks of the Swami. Then he goes on to describe the way he looks, and he further describes the great qualities of the Lord, and he further says what all the ornaments he is putting on and the great Divya Ayudas, the weaponries he has that he used to save, that he used for saving his devotees from difficulties, and his queens around, Swami's queens around, and the list of the attendants around the Swami are described, and later he also addresses or describes how Vaikunta looks like and the Swami's great activities in the creation, maintenance and destruction of things. After that, he says Satyakama, Satyasankalpa, Parabrahma Bhuta, Purushottama, Mahavibhute, Sriman Narayana, Sri Vaikunthanatha, Apara Karunya, Sausilya Vatsalya, Audharya, Aishwarya, Saundarya, Mahodade, Analochita, Visesha, Asesha Loka Sharanya. So he adds on to that, and at the end of it, Sriman Narayana, Asharanya Sharanya, Ananya Sharanaha, Tvatpadara Vindayugalam, Sharanamagam Prabhadye, Asharanya Sharanaha. So Swami is the shelter for shelterless people, and I have no other shelter than you, so I am surrendering you, he says. So at this point of time, the practice is to chant Srimate Narayanaya Namaha, Sriman Narayana Charano, Sharanam Prabhadye. This is mantra dvayam or dvayam it is called in Vaishnava Sampradaya. Normally it is not chanted loud, it is just murmured. After that, Ramanuja goes on to add a number of slokas from the Puranas. So worth quoting some is Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha Gurus Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. So like that he says, and he says in the next stanza he says, please forgive me, please forgive me of all the mistakes I have done, as a father does to his son and a lover does to his lover. Like that he goes on to say. So at the end of it he says, Manovakahehi anadikala pravuttananta akritya karana. Like that he is giving a list in which he says what all the misdeeds I have done to you, to your devotees, and the misdeeds done by me because of my intolerance. Like that, all these things, whether things have been done, started, that the things that have been earlier done, at present I am engaged in, and if I happen to take up something in future, all these things, please be excused, he said. Then he also says, see, I am by the worldly environment, I get attracted to worldly things, and I stay away from the thinking of you. All these the activities can also be forgiven. Then he is asking that I be relieved of the influence of Maya or the illusion which makes me suffer the worldly things and emotional backdrops. And he further now says, he quotes 3 slokas from the Bhagavad Gita. So he says, the last sloka reads like this: Bahunam Janmanam Mante Jnanavan Mam Pravadyate Vasudevaha Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlavaha Iti Sloka Trayodita Jnaninam Mam Kurushva. So simply it means, as per these 3 slokas in Bhagavad Gita, you please create in me a jnani. Then further adds, he says, Purushaha sa paraha parta bhaktya labhyastvananyaya bhaktya tvananya sakta sakya madbhaktim labate param giti sthana trayoditim parabhakti yuktam mam kurushva. He says, you make me the most devoted person to you, as it is mentioned in the above 3 lines or expressions. So at the end of it, very importantly, he puts forward this request to the Lord: Parabhakti, Parajnana, Paramabhakti Ekaswabhavam Mam Kurushva. This is the vital thing in this Sharanagati Gadyam, and it is applicable to the more people in the modern living also. So he says, Swami, make me devoted to the Supreme Lord, Parabhakti, Parajnana, let me have a knowledge about the Param, the Supreme Person, and Paramabhakti, my devotion, let the devotion be supreme. So these things, let this be the attitude created in me. This is what he says. And in the 16th paragraph, he concludes telling that Asesha Seshataikarati Rupa Nitya Kinkaro Bhavani. After making me all these things, the final thing you have to do is to please make me a full-time attendant to you without any attraction to things other than this. So these 2 requests are the vital, and anyone can pray before Lord, namely Parabhakti Parajnana Paramabhakti Eka Swabhavam Mam Kurushva Nitya Kinkaro Bhavani. I should be your full-time servant. So what is interesting is at the end of it, see, Lord himself says a number of things. Very importantly, he says, so you, Ramanuja, you may be feeling yourself small for having done so many mistakes. So I forego them. But what is very important, what a great thing you have done is, by chance or hook, you have been chanting mantra dvayam. The reply, remember, Narayana Sharanau Charanam Prabhadye, sorry, Srimate Narayanaya Namaha, Sriman Narayana Charanau Charanam Prabhadye. This dvayam you have been chanting. Because of this, you are eligible to be made my servant, permanent servant. You will be at my service all the time. This is very important, and this is Lord's dialogue. At the end of at the 18th stanza or 18th paragraph, Swami says, "Evam bhutosi." You become this right away, without we don't wait for anything. Right now, you are my servant, full-time servant. Then Swami continues to say a number of things, and he says, you keep chanting Dvayam, Arthanusandhanena, having understood, having realized the meaning of the Dvaya mantra, you keep on chanting that, and you live in Sri Rangam happily ever. This is also very interesting. Atraiva Sri Range Sukamasva Dvayam Arthanusandhanena Saha Sadaivam Bhaktva Yavat Sharira Patam Atraiva Sri Range Sukamasva. Till the time of death, you keep chanting the Dvayam and stay happily in Sri Rangam. This is what I grant you. This is the 19th paragraph. It happens. And Swami also says how Ramanuja can leave his body. Very simple. Sharira pada samaye. So at the time of your death, because of my grace, you will leave your body as if you are leaving the worn of dross that put on me. This is how he completes. So please recall, Lord says, you stay permanent till the time of your death in Sri Rangam chanting mantra dvayam, and you leave your body at the time of your death as if you are removing the worn out dress from your body. Then in the 21st paragraph, Swami says, Mate Bhut Atra Samsayaha. Let there be no doubt in you on this regarding. So then Swami concludes with this Anrutam Nokta Purvam Me Nacha Vakshe Kadachana Kamo Virna Vibhashate. So I have not told any lies before, and I am not going to say any lie after also. Ramo Virna Vibhashate. Raman will not talk anything, the same thing in two different ways. That is how you understand. And he quotes Sakradeva Prapannaya of Rama, Sandharva Sarvadharman Parijyajya Mamekam Sharanam Praja of Krishna, and Swami says, Iti Mamaivahi Yuttam. These were told by me. So at the end, in the 23rd paragraph, Atastvam Tava Tattvato Majnana Darsana Praptishu Nissamsayaha Sukhamasva. This is what he says to Ramanuja. Therefore, you from now onwards, having known me, having had the darshan of me, and you will reach me, you please stay happily without any doubt. This is how Sharanagati Gadyam ends. Let us try to understand what Sriranga Gadyam says. So it starts differently. Swadhina Trivida Chetana Chetana Swarupa Sruti Praviddhi Vedam Klesha Karmadi Asesha Dosha Samsrishtam. So like that it starts. So it's an address to the Lord by Ramanuja. So I forgot to tell that Srirang Gadyam is the smallest one in all this. So he says, he describes, as started earlier, with the great qualities of the Swami. So many things he says: Audarya, Chadurya, Sthairya, Dhairya, Saurya, Parakrama, Satyagama, Satyasankalpa, Krititva, Kritajnadati. And he further says Purushottamam, Srirangasayinam, Asmatsayinam, Swaminam. So like that, and at the end of it, he says Anavadikatisaya Pritikarita Asesha Vastochita Asesha Seshataikarati Rupa Nitya Kinkaro Bhavani. So he goes back to the old request that I want to be your permanent full-time servant. So he says a number of things where he says that he is not qualified, he is not actually matured enough to be taken, but sure Swami will do something about it. So in between he says Papavasana Maharnavantar Nimagnaha. So I am a person drowned in the great ocean of worldly emotions. So relieve me from all that. So at the end of it he says Sriman Narayana Tava Charanara Vindayugalam Sharanamaham Prabhadye. Despite all that, I am reaching your lotus feet on the simple fact that you will give me the permanent attendantship or servantship. So he says Nityadasyam Dasyatiti Viswasa Purvakam Bhagavantam Nitya Kinkaratam Prarthaye. On the belief that you will grant me this permanent serviceship, I am requesting you that again. So in here one's expression comes Pritikarita dasatam dehi me kripayanata na jane gatim anyata. I don't have any other refuge than you. So please grant me the Pritikarita dasata, a servant, and a service-oriented mind with love for you. Please be granted, as I have none other than you for me to do that. And in one paragraph, in fact there are 7 paragraphs, in the 6th paragraph he says, let me understand what all the great things I say about you. The real understanding, I should be able to say that, do that, so that I can really enjoy that. So in Sriranga Gadyam, the 7th Churna, 7th paragraph is very interesting, and it's a very good prayer. Anyone can chant it. Oh, it reads like that: Apara Karunam Bude Analochita Visesha Asesha Sloka Saranya Pranadartihara Astradavatsallika Mahodade Anavarata Vidita Nigilabhuta Jatayatadnya Satyakama Satyasankalpa Apatsaka Kaukusta Sriman Purushottama Sri Ranganatha Mamanatha Namostute. So interestingly, he takes the name Kaukusta, the name of Rama here, believing that he will forgive everything he has done wrong and will grant him what all he is asking for. Now let us see what says Sri Vaikuntha Gadya. There are 6 churnas. It's a bit long, but longer than Sriranga Gadya, but shorter compared to Sharanagati Gadya. Very importantly, you will see the initial phrasings are similar to what we have seen, what you are going to see in Sriranga Gadya. It starts like that: Swadhina Trivida Chetana Chetana Swarupa Sthiti Pravriddhi Vetam Klesha Karmadi Asesha Dosha Samsrishtam. So like that, the same way it starts. So it says, there is a very interesting expression here. Ananyatma sanjeevanena tadgata sarvabhavena sharanam manubrajet. So here he brings in his Atma for the survival, or for the betterment or development of my Atma, my spirit. I am surrendering you. So this expression is special in Vaikuntha Gadya. And he further says, Tadascha pratyakam atma ujjivanaya evam anusmaret. So for my betterment of my spirit only, I am telling all that. Here comes, after that comes a great description of Vaikuntha. So here you will see a number of things. He talks about Vaikuntha elaborately, its dimensions, 5 dimensions first. It grades, it is beyond the imagination of Sanaka Vidhi Sivadi Bhirapi. So it is beyond the imagination of Brahma, Shiva, like that he says. And he goes on to elaborate the natural beauties of the Vaikuntha, like trees, gardens, flowers, fragrance, birds and their chirping. It has wonderfully, the Vaikuntha has mandabas, playgrounds and all that. So Ramanuja tries to give us a feeling that Vaikuntha is no different from a well organized township. You can think that way, because he wants us to be feeling comfortable there also. He further to say, Sarvada anubhuyamaneirapi apurvavat ascharyam avahadbihi. So despite your being there and experiencing it for continuously, repeatedly, you will feel there is a wonder in it. Then he further describes the Nityasuris, the permanent attendants, including Adishesha and Senai Mudaliyar, there in the Vaikuntha. Then he also highlights the great qualities of Mahalakshmi before elaborating the wonderful looks of the Lord. He finishes this churna wondering as to when I am going to sight him. This is worth reading, worth remembering. Kadaham Bhagavantam Narayanam Mama Kulanatham Mama Kula Devatam Mama Kuladanam Mama Bhogyam Mama Mataram Mama Pitaram Mama Sarvam Sakshat Karavani Chakshusha. It is worth remembering and recalling. Then at the he further goes on to say, it's a special expression, Samasta Parivaraya Srimate Narayanaya Namaha. It sounds unique as it includes everything and everyone around the Lord in Vaikuntha. In the 4th Churna, he reiterates its commitments to be the Lord's full-time obedient servant. In the 5th Churna, 5th paragraph, he says he cannot do, see or thinking anything other than this. This is other than the devoted service to the Lord because of the great compassion Lord has bestowed upon him. So Anyat Kartum Drashtum Smartum Ashaktaha. He says, you understand this? I will not be able to do anything else, see anything else, or remember anything else other than the service of the Lord. In the 6th Churna, he says, because of his association with the lotus feet of the Lord and Lord's grace, he has immersed in the ocean of nectar, Amrita Sagara Antarnimagna Sarvavayaha Sukhamasita. So now he is enjoying, because he is immersed in the ocean of passion and love for God or from God, and he enjoys living there. That is how we have to understand in the final one. So from all this you will understand that of all the 3, Sharanagati Gadyam, probably is complete in all respects, and it is enough if you try to understand it, enjoy it, master it, chant it daily, if not all the three, at least Sharanagati Gatyam, an attempt can be made to understand it, read it fully, if not every day or on special occasions. With this, uh, hoping to receive the blessings of Lord Ramanuja. Thank you for listening.